Alright, welcome to the big one. Welcome to KT. This is with the last video, so hopefully if we get to this boss, it's all in the bag. This is one of the easier bosses in terms of what it is. Just mechanically it can be unforgiving, but this is not a boss you wipe on. Typically this is only a boss where some people can die. But the boss will always die no matter what. It's just about how many people we lose, and I prefer it to be very low or zero. So please pay attention. The KT prep will start with a pre-Greater Frost Protection potion for the entire raid. Melee, you'll need to really watch your health. So Fort, Titans, and Zanza are all considered excessive, as there is a mechanic in this fight that deals percentage max health damage, meaning if you have 10,000 health, it's going to deal 13,000 damage to you. If you have 5,000 health, it's going to deal a lot less. Juju Frost is important for the extra frost resist. Magic Dust should be macroed. There's a macro that we'll be sharing around that will instantly target a mind-controlled player. If you've been on Scarum before, you might have this macro. This is a very similar fight to Scarum in that there's kicks that need to happen, there's mind controls that go out. It's very similar in that respect, okay? And there's also threat. You know, sometimes there's threat going everywhere because tanks getting mind controlled. It's very similar to Scarum in that regard, okay? And we know what Scarum is like. People can die. You've got to keep your fear on cooldown. Warriors, so very similar there. But yeah, it's basically just a big Scarum with some extra ads in the middle. Another thing is, you know, if you have things like Blind, Poly, Hodge, you should keep these, you know, on hand at all times. They're useful in this fight in both phases. Like I said, Warriors need to keep fear on cooldown. No Cleave, Whirlwind, Blade Flurry, Multi-Shot, shit like that. It's just not acceptable at certain times. Obviously, there are times where you can use AoE and Cleave, but those are typically reserved for, let's say there are no polymorphed mobs near you, there are no shackled mobs, there are, a mind control is just finished, like it's not about to happen, it's already finished happening, then you can use AoE, but honestly you should probably just not. Especially considering Warriors will be in battle stance for this fight, most of it, especially on KT. This is to reduce damage taken from Frost Blast, so you won't be able to Whirlwind anyway. Yeah, just keep that in mind. And enjoy Overpower, I guess. Alright, so KT Phase 1 looks like this. Not exactly like this. There'll be a bunch of ads, basically, and they'll be in each area, right? So you'll see all of these areas are going to have lots of ads. And the problem is, only every now and then an ad will activate. So let's say there was a boss over here, and she just starts moving. Like, she'll start, and then she'll walk over here, and because she's a ranged mob, this is a Soul Weaver, one of the 3 mobs, she will walk up to here, and then she'll start casting on people, alright? So she's a ranged mob, and the range need to handle her. Melee cannot come out to meet her, because if they do come out to meet her, and then one of these guys activates, it can blow up on top of you. These guys, when they die, Soldiers of the Frozen Waste, when they die or get near people, they explode and deal lots of damage, so you can't attack them as a melee. Technically you can. You're not going to die to the damage, but it's just one of those things you really need to avoid, because a couple of them can happen and then you're in trouble. Alright, so you can see one of these mobs will activate, casters will kill it. Casters, you'll be playing on this sort of edge here the whole time. You'll be moving around, spinning your camera constantly. You know, your head should be on a swivel, just looking, where is the next thing, where is the next thing, alright? Obviously, we can't just have all the casters going and killing this, because then, you know, this guy will walk in, this guy will walk in, this guy will walk, and then, you know, it's a problem, right? Because all the casters are over here. So you should, you know, if you see enough people on this mob, let them handle it, you know what I mean? They've got it covered. Help out. Healers, you can help out too. You can Exorcism, you can Holy Shock, you know, you can Smite, you can fucking Moot, like Wrath, I don't care. You've got plenty of time. This phase lasts, like, forever. So just help out. Again, melee as well, you can use your bow shots. Alright, so that's the 2 ranged mobs as priority. These are really easy, low health. These have a lot more health, alright? So you want to put, like, most casters on this. And then these big guys hit kind of hard. They come in, and when they come in, you want to hodge them into a kidney, and then just kill them, alright? Very simple, alright? Don't try to backstab, don't try to get behind it, just fucking kill it. It's not very hard. And that's phase 1, for like forever. The only thing that can go wrong is Hunter McGee here throws a multi-shot at all this, and then it all just aggroes, alright? So just be very careful. Sometimes the Soul Weaver will be standing here. Don't get greedy, just hit it. Just hit the active mob. Don't hit this Soul Weaver, don't hit this A-bomb. Just hit her, because she's the only one in, you know, in combat. After phase 1 ends, we have phase 2. Phase 2 is where things actually go wrong, okay? So the first thing that you'll notice is that everyone has a spread position. You have to go to your spread position immediately. If you've done Cthulhu, it's very, very similar to that. You cannot be close to other people. When the mechanic Frost Blast goes out, it will target a random person, and Frost Blast, like a lot of other mechanics in this game, doesn't happen on a timer. He can throw it out 6 times a fight, he can throw it out 3 times a fight. It doesn't matter. He can just have it ready to cast, and when it's ready, it's buffering. It's buffering the cast, and he can just throw it whenever. When Frostblast is available on the boss, I will say Frostblast is ready, and you need to consider that, because when Frostblast is ready, you have to be spread away from other people, right? So if there's a danger situation where you have to move, that's fine. Just be careful when Frostblast is ready about how much movement you do and where you move. It's very important, especially at the melee, right? So let's say Frostblast goes on Kali. Kali is stunned. Kali can't do anything. There are people in range. Altarian, Feli, Honk, Carlisle's probably in range here, all right? That have to heal this person, right? I believe there's a weak aura that shows you Frostblast on players. That would be shared around as well. So just keep that in mind. That's one of the biggest mechanics, and this is going to be the one that mostly you're going to die to, is Frostblast. It's a very scary one. If it hits melee, this is where the priests come in. You'll notice that Feli has a triangle, Hideo has a circle, and Yeast has a diamond, right? And Ranzik has a star, but that's not important. That's just for himself. The thing is, Feli will be in a group with everybody in this stack. There'll be 4 people here, 4 melee in this stack, 4 melee in this stack. When this group gets Frostblasted, all 4 of them are going to take 130% of their max health, right? So instead of it just being 130, it's going to be like 520, right? That's a lot of Frostblast damage, okay? So the best thing to do, pop your healing amp if you have it. If you've got like Zandalarian Hero Charm or something that pops amps your healing, and just spam the fuck out of max range prayer healing, okay? You absolutely need to do this. The melee can't do anything. There's nothing they can do. They're relying on you. Obviously, let's say that this diamond group gets Frostblasted. Obviously, Yeast can heal these people pretty efficiently, but there's still other healers here. Vema can NS, Healing Touch. Constance can heal, Etcher can heal, Lay on Hands is available. I've spread out the people in such a way that there should be emergency healers in case, let's say, Yeast was too close, right? So let's say Yeast was over here, and he accidentally got clipped by the Frostblast, right? It hit this person and clipped him as well. This is really bad, but there's still other healers here who can help, right? And should help. So keep that in mind. You need to all pitch in healers, but there's going to be things like, for example, a mind control can happen, and there could be ads hitting people, and there could be Frostblast, there could be a kick that needs to happen at the same time. Everything can happen at the same time on this fight, which is why it's really important not to neglect your job. If your job as a healer is to heal the group that you're assigned to, that's your main job, okay? You need to look after these people in these groups because they can't do anything to keep themselves alive, alright? Let us watch a quick video on the Frostblast. Alright, so let's go to this video here. And let me just quickly speed it up. This was from 7 hours ago. If we can get this, skip to when this person died. As you can see, something went wrong here. Let's have a look. What is this fucking quality, please? Bit further back. I should have had this ready, but for some reason it was auto-playing on my other monitor. Here we go. Alright. Let's watch these. See, Frostblast goes out. They're all spread out. Max melee. Boss is at, I don't know what that looks like, 80%, 70%. You can see that Frostblast is ready to be cast soon. So you can see Chains, Shadow Fissure, and Frostblast are all about to happen. There's also a mechanic called Detonate Mana, but it's really not important. It just spawns like an Arcane Explosion on top of you and detonates some of your mana. Just another reason to stay spread out, frankly. But you can see Frostblast, it's just casting down constantly. But it's not actually going out. Right? There's no Frostblast right now. There's a Mind Control and a Frostblast. So you can see why it's so scary, right? There was an AoE Frostbolt Volley. Let's go back. We have Detonate Mana. We have Frostbolt Volley. Right? You can see this person gets Mind Controlled. You can see even there's little lines that go out to the people who get Mind Controlled. There's like a little squiggly line that goes and gets to them, right? So you can see all the people who are about to get Mind Controlled. If you see this squiggly behind you, you know this person's about to get, if you're a mage who's standing here and you see this squiggly line, you know, oh, I could poly this guy, right? Because it has travel time. You can see this person uses a Magic Dust immediately. That's what you should be doing, Magic Dust. Everyone should have Magic Dust immediately. So if I see this squiggly line, I'm thinking, alright, start spamming that macro. Spam, spam, spam. Alright, now back to the boss. Alright, and you can see what just happened here. This Paladin does pretty well. I think they go in and Judge. They get Frost Tombed, and because everybody was sleeping, nobody healed him. For whatever reason, all of the healers were focused on other things. They were focusing on Polymorph, or they were focusing on Magic Dust, and none of the healers healed this Paladin, and he just died. Which is just unfortunate, because it's literally the easiest thing in the world to heal one person, right? So, pretty bad. That's Frostblast. What else do we have? We have single target Frostbolt, alright? So every now and then, he's going to cast a single target Frostbolt on the main tank. That could be this person, it could be this person, but it'll be Ranzig mostly. This Frostbolt can happen, again, while the mind controls are going out, while there's a Frostblast. Literally, this group could be entirely frozen, this group could be entirely mind controlled, and there's like one guy in this group left who can kick. Now luckily, there are like 6 mages in this room who can also counterspell. So mages, you should be counterspelling the Frostbolts, if you can, just in case all of the melee are fucking out of it, right? And like, if a warrior forgets to put their fear on cooldown, and they get mind controlled, and they fear everyone, well now nobody can kick the Frostbolt, then Ranzig takes a lot of damage. You can survive it, right? It is survivable damage, but it's a lot of damage, alright? So your warriors will be in battle stance. There's the mind control, again, Magic Dust macro, very important. There's also Shadow Fissure. So Shadow Fissure will appear under a player. If it appears under a ranged, you have to be careful not to move forward. If it appears under Constance, for example, and Constance moves this way, well now Frostblast can hit him, and it'll stun everyone, alright? So you can get baited by the Shadow Fissure into walking into the wrong spot. So if it goes on Constance, he should move back, he could move to the side, or he could move to the other side, right? But he shouldn't move forward as a healer. And he really shouldn't move towards Hideo, actually. He should move backwards or to this open spot. He should not move towards the priest, because the priest needs to heal these people. If Constance moves here, and then Frostblast goes here, who's healing this person? You got Sam, and that's it. Who has to heal these 2 people and keep them up, and then maybe Etcher, right? So you really don't want to freeze your other healers, if you can. So Shadow Fissure goes out, just walk backwards. Enjoy yourself, okay? And melee, if Shadow Fissure appears under you, you don't walk forwards, you don't walk left, you don't walk right. If Shadow Fissure appears under you, you go backwards, alright? Backwards, only backwards, okay? Let me just check my messages. Alright, so that's that. You'll notice that also Drak and Shab are on the outskirts here. I don't know exactly what they're going to do during the fight, during phase 1, before 50%. But there are no spots left for the melee, and there are no real things they can do at range, so I guess they can throw out some Innervates, they can throw out Rejuice, they can focus on magic dusting people, like if Xavier and KJ get, mind controlled, both of them, there might not be a poly nearby who can help, so Shab could just, magic dust one, bash the other, Jed can fear, coil, stuff like that. They'll have to help each other out if things go really bad, but Drak and Shab, basically you're operating as supports in this fight, just helping out, doing as much as you can, be a real utility knife in that respect, okay? Okay, so that's a lot of mechanics to go over. The main ones, Frostblast, Mind Control, AoE Frostbolt Volley, nothing you can do, just heal through it, single target Frostbolt, and Shadow Fissure, alright? As well as Detonate Mana, but Detonate Mana doesn't really matter. What else is there? Okay, 50% health. The boss will summon Guardians periodically. They will come out from the edge, and they will come out, and they will have to be dealt with. If a Guardian spawns over here at 50%, Drak can just pick it up. Right, that's perfect, that's what he's there for. If one spawns over here, Shab will pick it up. But what if one spawns over here? Well, if one spawns over here, what you should probably do is have Sam shackle it. Right? And then if one spawns over here, you could have Honk shackle it. You know what I mean? Comes in from here, Honk just shackles it. You should have them shackled. Once 2 of them are shackled, right? 2 of them are shackled, all of the other ones can't be shackled anymore, alright? So keep them shackled. They can break shackles randomly because of Heartbeat, obviously, we know what that is. But all the extra adds cannot be shackled because he'll break all of the shackles if 3 or more get shackled undead, okay? So these ones are really susceptible to a lot of things. You could Hodge these, you can Kidney them, you can Frost Nova them. So if one was running past Membranes, all he does is he Frost Novas the mob, and then he just walks it away so it doesn't fucking auto-attack him, right? Very simple. You can come stand on Sam, it doesn't matter. So you can control these adds really easy. What if one of them gets past Membranes? Let's say he misses the Frost Nova, or it resists, and it's running straight for the melee. Well then guess what? Sloppy just picks it up and tanks it. He just stands here the whole fight and just hits Sloppy. He might turn around or might just let it hit him in the back. It really just depends on how much damage he's taking, how much he's feeling it, and if Sloppy's doing other stuff, he might be tanking the boss at that point, right? Meaning he probably shouldn't do that. Key thing to know here, the main tank can get mind controlled, and the main tank can get fissured. The scary thing is when the main tank gets mind controlled, the boss is going to start targeting someone random. He could start walking this way, going for Magi, he could start doing all kinds of things. What needs to happen is when the main tank gets mind controlled, these guys should be picking up the boss immediately, okay? If there's a Frost Blast that hasn't been cast yet, you need to be very careful what you do. And the reason I say that is because of this old video, alright? So this is Frontier. I'm sure you've seen, this is the world first hardcore KT kill, and this goes horribly, alright? These guys are less geared than us, they are less prepared than us, and they are making so many mistakes, okay? And here's the biggest one that they make, right? So they're doing everything right, they're kind of moving too much. I mean, like, what the fuck is this? Like, I'm just stepping forward and I'm stepping backward, and I don't understand that. You should be max melee, just stop fucking with it. Alright, here's the mind control. Hits the main tank, hits 2 melee, alright? So we've still got fuckloads of melee, we've got, right, there's a mind control in this person as well, right? We saw all the swigglies. Right, you see mind control, mind control, mind control, mind control. So there's a bunch of people who can do stuff here. There's a tank in this group, there's a tank here. Amphi decides, I'm the tank, I'm going to taunt Kel'Thuzad. But he walks forward. Why is it a bad idea to walk forward? Because he gets Frost Tombed. Actually, I think it's this group who gets Frost Tombed, but it chains to him, right? Because if it was on him, it would hit this group as well. So this group gets Frost Blasted, and it would have been fine if he just stayed here. But for some reason, he walks forward and dies, because he eats a Frostbolt to the face that no one kicks, right? So it's multiple problems. Number 1, mind controls that aren't magic dusted immediately. Number 2, main tank walks forward. Number 3, this group gets frozen. And this group doesn't get healed, by the way. There's a priest in this group, Hakurai. Does he cast anything? No, of course not. I don't know if he's mind controlled, but Hakurai doesn't do shit. And if I was this group, if I was this rogue, this rogue, this rogue, and this warrior, I'd be real fucking upset, okay? But yeah, if the main tank gets taunted, like, if the main tank gets mind controlled like this, you just taunt immediately. Like this, if this is Sloppy and that's Randzik, and you see Randzik get mind control, just taunt immediately. I don't care who's tanking. And then kick the Frostbolt. Why didn't these two kick? Why didn't any mage counterspell? It's fucking ridiculous. Alright, so this is the problem, right? It only goes wrong when you panic and do stupid shit. Yes, there's a mind control. Yes, there's a fucking, Frost Blast. And yes, there's a Frostbolt at the same time. There's 3 mechanics at the same time, but you just focus on the one you can do. Alright? The melee shouldn't be thinking about the Frost Blast because there's nothing they can do about it. The melee shouldn't be thinking about tanking the boss because they can't do anything about it unless they're the tank. You should be thinking kick. You should be thinking don't fucking walk forward. So yeah, it's frustrating when I watch that because it's absolutely what you shouldn't be doing, okay? Here's an even worse point of view, alright? Look at this. Main tank gets mind controlled. Magic Dust. He walks over to a caster. These casters should be like Petrying, probably. If the boss walks to you as a caster, you should just Petry until it goes to a tank. But the boss is loose right now. And look at this positioning, alright? Look at this. Where are they standing? There's like they're not even in stacks anymore. If the boss is standing here, you can still stand on each compass point, right? North, east, south, west. You could still stand on his skirt, like these little diamonds on his skirt. What are they doing? I genuinely don't understand this. There should be a stack here, and a stack here. But they aren't. This group here is just sitting out the whole time, and this group is sitting out. They're not moving. This is ridiculous. He can move the boss. Frost Blast has already happened, right? We saw Frost Blast happen earlier, right? Let's go back. Here's Frost Blast. So Frost Blast can't happen again. Frost Blast has 25 seconds until it's coming back. There are no mechanics right now, just polymorphs and kicks. Just move the boss. Why aren't they moving it? Oh, but they will thunderclap this guy out of fucking, out of poly. Why not? Yeah, this guy thunderclaps him out of poly. Let's do that instead of kicking the Frostbolt, instead of fucking moving the boss. Look, the Frostbolt almost goes off. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely stupid, and you shouldn't be doing that, right? So there's what not to do, and there's what you should be doing, alright? A lot of mechanics, but just focus on the ones that you can handle, okay?